Hello everyone, a very good afternoon to all of you. This is Ashwin Ramani, your research analyst at SBI Securities. I hope I'm audible and I hope you all are able to see my screen. If you all can give me a heads up in the chat box. अगर मेरी आवाज सुनाई दे रही है, स्क्रीन दिखाई दे रहा है, तो आप मुझे एक बार चैट बॉक्स में कमेंट करके बता सकते हो, so that I know you all are with me live in the session. We'll just wait for a couple of minutes. I see that people are joining in, and we should be good to go with today's mid-market live in another couple of minutes from now. Good afternoon, Sunish ji, Shushmita ji, Asha ji, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Sudhakar ji, audio video clear. Okay, perfect. Sajiv ji, good afternoon. I hope you all had a great weekend. Adi ji, good afternoon to you as well. Okay. So let's begin with I'll take your queries towards the end, Mantoshi. Good afternoon, Karanji, Asim bhai, good afternoon to you as well. Okay. So let's start with the mid-market session today. So first up, with an update on the global markets first. So अगर हम US markets की बात करें, so S&P 500 almost 0.5% ऊपर क्लोज हुआ. डाउ जोन्स 0.64% ऊपर क्लोज हुआ. नैस्डैक भी 0.43% ऊपर क्लोज हुआ फ्राइडे के सेशन में. So US markets, I think, post the small, brief pullback they've had in the last week, they have kind of recovered from that. And again, they are trading close to their all-time highs. If you look at Dow futures now, they are minus 48 points. So Dow futures is indicating slightly flat to or a negative start to the US markets today. अगर हम यूरोपियन मार्केट्स की बात करें, सो जर्मनी वाज अप 0.13%, लंदन वाज अप 0.5%, फ्रांस वाज डाउन 0.15%. But if you look at Euro stocks, that is up again 0.39%. I think one important news is that India and US, not India and US, India and EU, I think they are on the verge of signing a deal, which they call it as the mother of all deals. So we'll have to wait and see, what could be a possible impact on these stocks as the deal is announced. So nevertheless, I think Europe markets, I think barring France, almost all the other markets relatively closed in green. If you look at the Asian markets, Hang Seng is the best performing index, that is up around 1.36%. Nikkei is up 0.85%. China is up 0.18%. Kospi again continues to move higher. That is up around 2.273%. और अगर हम पिछले एक महीने की बात करें, so clearly Kospi has been the best performing global index. That is up again 23%. If you look at Nifty has been the worst performing global index. We are down almost 4% in the last 1 month and almost 5% from the all-time highs. Nifty, I think, and so we have recovered kind of. We were down in the morning, so today's movement has been relatively choppy, extremely tough if you are an intraday trader. Because the moment you think the market will go down, the market goes up, and the moment you expect market to go up, it kind of gives up its gains here. That's how the day has been until now, and we'll see what's next for Nifty and Sensex. So Nifty is up around, Sensex and Nifty both are up in the range of 0.15 to 0.20%. If you look at the macro indicators, so clearly dollar index has seen a big fall on 23rd. It fell around 0.85%. It has slipped below the 97 mark now. This is, in a way, it's good for our markets. Jab dollar index weak hota hai compared to the basket of 6 major currencies, usually it's a positive sign for emerging markets like us. But on the other hand, if you look at dollar by rupee, we are almost we hit 91.96, almost nearing the 92 mark now. So a higher dollar again helps the exporters, but it hurts the importers. But again, if you are I think if you are a company which is into exports, higher dollar against the rupee will always be beneficial, but it's not positive as far as the the overall FII sentiment is concerned, because FIs usually stay away from the markets जब तक dollar strengthen होता है rupee के against. But if you look at the Indian government bonds 10-year yields, we are almost at 6.68%. So even the Indian 10-year yields have kind of gone up. I think any move above 6.75% clearly could lead to some inflows coming into the bond market as compared to the equity markets. We've already seeing some sell-off in the equity markets here. ऐसे लग रहा है कि a lot of that money has been coming into the bond markets now. Similarly, even if you look at US 10-year yields, so post the spike, we kind of had a correction in the US 10-year yields. We are almost at 4.2%. Whereas Japanese yields have again seen an uptick, though the Japanese government has kept the interest rates steady. So that was the recent news as far as the Bank of Japan's interest rate announcement was concerned. So they didn't hike the interest rates as expected. So they were planning for a rate hike 3 times in the next 1 year. So for this time, they have kept the rate steady, but we still are at the elevated levels. We are at 2.28%. So one part of the selling in our markets could also be due to the fact that yen carry trade unwinding has taken place. And probably some money has been moving from equity markets to the bond markets, because even if you look at the 10-year yields, the yields are kind of attractive as far as the Indian 10-year bonds are concerned. On the other hand, crude oil continues to remain sideways, so no significant impact on crude oil. It's a good sign because we import crude, and with dollar near about the 92 levels, crude at 64, it's a blessing for us. Because अगर मान लो crude अगर इस time में $80-90 a barrel होता और dollar आपका 92 होता, then it would have been a very difficult situation. Probably one of the reasons why RBI is not trying to manage rupee now is for the fact that crude oil prices are in control. Had crude oil prices been at around $80-85 a barrel, और dollar भी अगर 92 के आसपास होता, then it would have been even more worse situation for us. If you look at India VIX, as expected, we have almost 5 days to go before the budget, which is scheduled on 1st of Feb. And India VIX, clearly it's up around 6.6%. In morning it was up around 10%. So as we've been discussing, budget के पहले VIX बढ़ता ही है. Volatility काफी high होता है, और हम आज निफ्टी के प्राइसेस में भी देख रहे हैं काफी ऊपर चढ़ा हो रहा है निफ्टी के प्राइसेस में. हो सकता है विक्स आपका बढ़ते रहे, बजट दिन तक शायद आपका विक्स बढ़े, और बजट दिन से जैसे ही स्पीच स्टार्ट होता है उसी दिन से शायद हाफ ऑफ द स्पीच जब खत्म हो जाता है उसके बाद और उसके एक हफ्ते पहले ट्रेंड्स ऐसे देखे गए कि यूजुअली विक्स कूल ऑफ होता है. सो वील हैव टू वेट एंड सी इफ हिस्ट्री रिपीट्स इटसेल्फ इन विक्स. Silver, I don't know how many of you all saw silver. So silver on 26th, it hit an high of $117 an ounce. So silver keeps moving higher. It keeps going higher and higher. I don't know if there is any stopping silver at the current levels, but it's even more dicey to enter at the current levels as well, because it's too overpriced. And I don't know till when can this rally last, but definitely not a great entry point for silver, whether you are considering silver Bs or even silver ETS for that matter. Not a good point. But overall, it has been in a strong uptrend. Even if you look at gold, gold is almost nearing the $5,100 an ounce mark. So even gold has been moving higher. So I think it's not I think it's only the markets where only gold and silver investors are making money. Whereas mid cap, small cap, large cap investors are kind of sitting on a loss at their portfolio level currently. If you look at the FI sentiment, so on Friday we saw heavy selling by the FIIs, roughly around 4,100 crores of selling in the cash market. And if we see from the 5th of Jan, they have sold almost 37,725 crores in just last 14 trading sessions. So that's roughly around last 3 weeks. So clearly FII sentiment has been absolutely bearish. Though DIIs have kind of countered the FIIs to a large extent. But again, our corporate earnings also, if we see our Q3 numbers are probably not up to the mark. It's not that companies are reporting good earnings growth. I think reporting a strong earnings growth is very crucial for the long-term trajectory of the company. But I think the numbers have not been very strong, and we could see that in the market sentiment as well. Even if you look at the long short ratio, we are at around 14.67%. Though there has been some improvement in the long short ratio, and importantly, today is the monthly expiry day for Nifty, so expect some lot of volatility in the second half. Usually, you would see an erratic long short ratio. Sometimes on the monthly expiry day, the long short ratio jumps a lot, and then again it kind of adjusts itself when the new series begin. But for now, it's at 14.67. Still, FIIs continue to hold more short positions, as far as long positions are concerned. If you look at Nifty, so this is the 5-minute chart. So we kind of started on a negative note, then there was a strong recovery. We went above the day's high, but almost around 25,180 is where Nifty again kind of saw selling pressure. And we kind of came down again, and again there was an attempt to move upwards. So you can clearly see the movement has been extremely choppy. And I feel the important resistance for Nifty purely on an intraday basis would be around 25,190. I feel as long as, because this is the 25,190 acted as a support earlier, so this level also acted as a resistance now. So chances are that this level can act as a resistance going forward on an intraday basis here. जब तक ये 25,190 के नीचे रहेगा, तब तक I think the trend for Nifty for intraday is likely to be sideways to bearish. On the downside, I feel there is an important support around 24,950. That is where a strong support is placed. I think any break below 24,950 that could probably pull Nifty even down. But I think if we have any movement about 25,190, then chances are that we could expect some pullback in the second half here. So the key levels to watch out in Nifty is 25,190 till the time it stays below this, sideways to bearish. Below 24,950 bearish, and probably about 25,190 we can expect some pullback on the higher side in Nifty. Or on the daily chart, if we see clearly no improvement, we are still hovering around the 200-day EMA. But most importantly, if you see, I've drawn a trend line. Let me zoom this trend line a bit. Yeah, ये trend line को मैं थोड़ा dark कर देता हूँ. So this is the trend line. If you see, I've kind of I've connected these lows here. So ये वाला low को मैंने connect किया हो. So you can see the low of 8th of August. Then there was a low of 29th of August. When I drag this trend line, I get a major trend line support here for Nifty, which is in the zone of 24,900. So you can see it took support here on the 21st. Again, it took support today on the 27th. So this is a very strong support level for Nifty. That is your 24,900 level. As long as it holds above this trend line, it's good. Chances are that probably it could hover around this level or it can go up. But अगर हम 24,900 ये trend line के नीचे आ जाते हैं, then I feel we could expect more selling pressure coming in Nifty here. Probably there could be a big candle formed on the budget day. Budget day हो सकता है green candle, red candle, upper wick, lower wick सब दिखे उस दिन कुछ भी हो सकता है markets में. You can't really predict what can happen on the budget day. But the momentum indicators, you can see ADX is on a rising mode, so clearly bearish strength है अभी भी, and RSI is still below around the 30 levels here, so clearly it's somewhere around, not in oversold, but somewhere near the oversold territories for now. So एकदम bullish भी नहीं है. We are still almost for Nifty it's very crucial to hold about 24,900. If we look at Sensex, so I think Sensex pretty similar story in Sensex. So for Sensex, the key level to watch out would be 81,900. The level which acted as a support for Sensex acted as a resistance today. यही हुआ है, नीचे थे, फिर डेज आई के ब्रेक किया, फिर नीचे आ गए, फिर ऊपर आ गए. नाउ द मोमेंट हैज बीन स्लाइटली erratic, very difficult if you are an intraday trader to make money in this market. But I feel as long as Sensex stays below 81,900, chances are that it can be sideways to bearish. On the downside, I feel there is a strong support at 81,200. Below 81,200, chances are that we can fall back further. But if we go above 81,900, then chances are that we can also expect some pullback on the upside in Sensex. But for that, 81,900 needs to be taken out. So similar है, अगर आप निफ्टी का चार्ट देखोगे, सेंसेक्स का चार्ट देखोगे, the price action is pretty much extremely similar. If we look at Bank Nifty, so Bank Nifty again, same story. Bank Nifty, it started off on a weak note, but it's kind of steadily recovering now. So in fact, if you look at Bank Nifty, some of the private banking names are doing well. Though PSU banks are holding steady, there is no momentum in the PSU banks today. But nevertheless, there are some private banking names that are kind of holding up your Nifty bank today. So purely from an intraday perspective, again, the support of 58,900 that is likely to act as a resistance. So don't be extremely long in Bank Nifty till 58,900 is taken out on the upside. Because till the time we are below 58,900, chances are that Bank Nifty can likely stay sideways to bearish. On the downside, if I take important support, that would be the previous swing low, that is around 58,350. सो अगर हम 58,350 के नीचे गिरते हैं तो हो सकता है शायद और हमें सेलिंग प्रेशर देखने को मिले. But if we cross 58,900, then we can expect some pullback on the upside in Bank Nifty here. But again, relatively, I feel Bank Nifty में action maybe second half में post 1:30, 2 o'clock, we can expect some expiry day volatility, considering it's the monthly expiry today. But I think barring that, I don't see any fresh triggers coming in that could probably push the index higher. Yeah, the overall trend is likely to remain bearish unless these key resistance levels are taken out. And if you look at the daily chart for Bank Nifty, so let me open up the daily chart here. So clearly, अगर हम Bank Nifty का daily chart देखें, so Bank Nifty kind of took support from its 100-day EMA. So this 100-day EMA is a strong support, which is somewhere in the range of 58,150, 58,100. So that zone is likely to act as a strong support for Bank Nifty. If we look at the heat map, let's see which are the sectors that are kind of not doing well today. If you look at the major losers, it's Kotak Bank, which is down 1.8%. Mahindra is down around 3% today. Tata Motors passenger vehicles is down 1.29%. Wipro is down 1.34%. Cipla is down 1.14%, and Bharti Airtel is down 0.63%. So some strong names, if you see Mahindra, Kotak Bank, both are down. Even HDFC for that matter is down around 1.10%. So no support from the three key heavyweight sectors. If you look at BFSI, IT barring Infi and HCL Tech is relatively quiet. Even oil and gas is quiet today. Again, steel, metals continue to move higher. Metal continues to be in a sector that shows a strong relative strength. Hindalco is up 3.65%. JSW Steel is up 2.3%. So clearly the momentum and strength is in the metal space. If you look at the gainers, so again, Adani post the blip that we saw last Friday, I think there is a good recovery in the Adani stocks. Sun Pharma is up 1.6%. Major gainer is Hindalco, which is up 3.65%. Axis Bank is up 2.45%. But again, we need, so for Nifty to move higher, three key sectors need to perform. That is your BFSI, IT and oil and gas, because these are the three key heavyweight sectors. जब तक आपका ICICI, HDFC, Reliance, Bharti Airtel, ये चारों काउंटर्स में आपका बाइंग जब तक नहीं आता है, तब तक शायद निफ्टी का ऊपर जाना थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट लग सकता है. If you look at the sectoral performance, if I see where the pain lies, so pain is clearly in the realty space, that is down around 9.5% in the last 5 days. And even if you look at the RRG graph, so clearly we can see that Nifty Realty is in the lagging quadrant. So clearly there is no relative strength and no relative momentum in your realty space. Clearly realty is one sector that is struggling a lot. Apart from that, even tourism sectors, avoid tourism stocks as well, like your chalet hotels, Indian hotels, lemon tree hotels, all your hotel related counters, your stocks like IRCTC, Indigo, all these tourism related stocks are kind of not doing well, so stay away from them because currently they are down. There is also some profit booking in the auto counters as well, though there is selectively some auto pockets are doing well, like Ashok Leyland ho gaya. But majority of the auto sectors kind of थोड़ा exhaustion का signal आ रहा है auto sectors में. But the sectors that continues to do well, that is metal continues to move higher. There is some traction in CPSE stocks. जैसे कोल इंडिया हो गया, एनटीपीसी हो गया, बीएल हो गया, उसमें थोड़े स्टॉक्स में ट्रैक्शन दिख रहा है। आइडली सीपीएसई ऑलवेज आपके बजट के पहले फोकस पे रह सकते हैं। Yeah, I think EU trade in India to slash import duties up to 40%. I think that is kind of weighing on the auto sector sentiment today. And even if you look at IT, select pockets of IT counters are doing well. That is up around, though IT and CPSE is down 0.43 and 0.52. But relatively, one strongest looking sector is your metal space here. Now, if you look at the RRG chart, so clearly, I think metal, which had come to the weakening quadrant, has again come back to the leading quadrant. Realty continues to be lagging. FMCG, there is some improvement in the FMCG space. We are still in the improving category here. If you see infrastructure, it's still in the lagging quadrant. Oil and gas, it's moving up. It's still in the lagging quadrant. Energy is in the lagging quadrant. If you see majority of the sectors, whether it's small cap, whether it's Nifty, auto has come from almost weakening to lagging. So clearly, I think auto sector is likely to underperform probably in the next 3-4 days. Even healthcare is down, consumption is down. Even manufacturing, which was in the leading quadrant, is kind of moving towards the lagging quadrant now. Though Nifty Bank is slightly down, private banks is holding up, financial services down. I think IT is kind of holding up here. So I feel still, the sectors that can probably relatively that are looking strong, is probably the fact that metal. I think metal का अगर हम ratio chart देखें, if you look at metal by Nifty, clearly that the ratio line in the ratio chart has made a new high. So clearly it shows that metal is significantly outperforming the Nifty index. But हमने metal में ये भी देखा है कि काफी सारी stocks already काफी high पे पहुंच गए हैं. So but there is one stock that still has some upside potential left, which I feel will be APL Apollo in the metal space. So APL Apollo यहाँ पे previous swing आया था around 1980 1990. फ्राइडे के सेशन में ब्रेकआउट, थर्सडे के सेशन में ब्रेकआउट आया था. देन देयर वाज, अगर आपको याद है, हमने डोजी कैंडल पढ़े थे लास्ट फ्राइडे को. सो एक ग्रेवस्टोन लाइक डोजी यहाँ पे बना था. But again, there is some recovery that is seen today, and there is a good rise in the volumes as well. So as long as 1975 1980 holds in APL Apollo, chances are that this stock can do well. So keep an eye on the metal space. If you are having any stocks in the metal space, you can kind of trail your stop loss and continue holding your metal stocks. If you want to offload, probably you can offload maybe around 60, 65, 70% of your positions, and maybe trail the remaining well above cost, so that agar kal metal mein correction bhi aata hai, to you can probably exit with some profits here, but you can continue to hold metal stocks. Apart from that, like I said, even CPSE is one sector usually ये बजट के टाइम में फोकस में रहते ही है. सो रेशियो लाइन हैज प्रॉब्ली क्रिएटेड अ फ्रेश हाई. But if I have to pick out one stock from the CPSE space, that would be Oil India. So Oil India again, एक ब्रेकआउट के बाद एक रीटेस्ट दिया है. So this was the level around 425 430, and it kind of took support from its 20-day EMA, and we could see a strong green candle today. So Oil India from the CPSE space, keep an eye on that. I think any follow through move above 450 455, that is likely to push the Oil India prices even higher. Apart from that, metal CPSE to hai, but I feel the strongest looking sector is some pockets of the private banking space. अगर हम निफ्टी प्राइवेट बैंक्स बाय निफ्टी देखें, सी अगर आपके पास पीएसयू बैंक्स है तो यू कैन कंटिन्यू टू होल्ड देम. बट अभी फिलहाल के लिए पीएसयूज में मोमेंटम नहीं है, एंड इट हैज काइंड ऑफ ऑलरेडी रैलीड अ लॉट. So you can adopt a similar strategy to PSUs like metals. You can probably थोड़ा आप हल्का हो सकते हो PSUs में, and maybe trail the remaining well above cost, so that you don't come out with a loss. But I feel private banks, even ratio line is moving up, so there is some outperformance in the private banking space as well. Which are the private banks that I'm talking about? One is Axis Bank. So अगर हम Axis Bank देखें, so Axis Bank is probably it is, though it is facing some hesitation around the highs. So there was one resistance around 1330, 1333. So I think Axis Bank needs to take out 1330, 1335. I think any strong move above 1335 is likely to be positive for Axis Bank, with around 1270, 1275 acting as a strong support. Apart from that, Karur Vysya Bank has given a strong breakout today. It's up around 10%. Good earnings, I feel. I think there is a strong surge in volumes as well. The stock was already in an uptrend. The DI plus has crossover, has given a crossover about DI minus. And I feel as long as, I think we can shift the resistance higher towards 280. As long as Karur Vysya holds about 280, chances are that the stock can do well. Apart from that, DCB Bank, this is also, one particular sector, one particular stock that is doing well. It has managed to hold above its 20-day EMA. There is a strong follow-through move seen in DCB Bank today. So I think DCB Bank, as long as it stays above 180 to 185, the overall trend is likely to be positive. One another name from the private banking space would be City Union Bank. Agar hum City Union Bank dekhe, so it has kind of held above its upward sloping trend line. Though it is kind of hovering between its 20 and 50-day EMAs, any strong move above 288, 290, that can be positive for City Union Bank. And I think we can move towards 300, 305 levels in the short term, provided we hold above the 265, 268 mark for CUB year. So there are some pockets of private banks that are doing well. Apart from that, even IT, like I said, even IT has been, if not, it's, I think, one of the sector that is holding steady in this market. Like I think couple of stocks, one would be Tech Mahindra. So Tech Mahindra, again, post the breakout, it kind of went into a consolidation phase. And again, we could see that the stock is kind of giving an follow through on the upside. So I think immediate support for Techem, I would say, would be around 1685, 1690. As long as Techem holds above this level, the overall structure is likely to be positive. And the next stock, again, I would say another stock from the IT space would be Infosys. So Infosys, currently it's at 1680. So I feel as long as we are, I think this is a major resistance, 1695, 1700. I think if Infosys takes out 1700, then chances are that we could see a next leg of rally in Infosys, with around 1655, 1660 acting as a strong support for the stock here. So clearly metals, private banks, CPSE, IT, these are the sectors that are relatively doing well. And ideally, you can probably have these sectors in your radar. Now talking about the concept of the day. In fact, मैंने कुछ सोचा नहीं आज क्या करें concept of the day में. Okay, so let us do something interesting on the fundamental side. Now, आपको मालूम है fundamental analysis में we do something called as ratio analysis, right? So how can you do a basic check of ratio analysis here? हम लोग detail में जाएंगे, भले ही हम लोग fundamental की detail में जाएंगे, but क्योंकि it's a small concept session, I'll tell you what are the three important things that you can look for your initial screening. So I'll write here, this is for your initial screening here, कि आपको कौन से स्टॉक्स में ध्यान देना चाहिए एंड आइडली आपको क्या देखना चाहिए इनिशियल स्क्रीनिंग. सो आपका कोई भी यूनिवर्स हो, आपको आईटी पसंद है, मेटल पसंद है, मिड कैप पसंद है, स्मॉल कैप पसंद है, और आपके रेडार पे कोई स्टॉक है, आपको फंडामेंटल व्यू लेना है, सो एटलीस्ट लुक फॉर दीज थ्री थिंग्स. आपका जो इनिशियल स्क्रीनिंग में बोल रहा हूँ, आई एम नॉट सेइंग दिस इज द ओनली थिंग दैट यू नीड टू लुक एट. द फर्स्ट थिंग ऑलवेज जो आपको सबसे पहला देखना होता है स्टॉक में, so there are a lot of websites. So there is a website called as screener.in. I don't know how many of you all have seen that website. आप देख सकते हो, आप मनी कंट्रोल में भी आप देख सकते हो ये. The first thing always आपको जब फोकस रहना चाहिए, that should be your revenues. मतलब कंपनी का धंधा क्या है, इज द कंपनी एक्चुअली मेकिंग मनी, बेसिकली योर सेल्स ऑफ द कंपनी रेवेन्यू. उसमें दो तरह के रेवेन्यू होता है, एक आपका बिजनेस इनकम होता है, आपका नॉन कोर इनकम होता है. नॉन कोर इज बेसिकली अगर कुछ इंटरेस्ट इनकम आता है या लोन दिया उसका जो इंटरेस्ट इनकम आता है, डिविडेंड आता है कुछ, वो वाला इनकम नहीं बोल रहा हूँ. जो कंपनी का जो मेन बिजनेस है, इज द रेवेन्यू ग्रोइंग ईयर ऑन ईयर, यू नीड टू सी दैट. You don't need a flat growth, you don't need a declining growth, but you need a growing. So आपको ideally last 5 years का trend देखना होगा, and you should be seeing that हर साल company का growth हो रहा है कि नहीं. That's the first thing that you should look at, and you should keep asking yourself questions if it's growing, then what is that company doing? क्यों grow हो रहा है? अगर flat है तो क्यों flat है? अगर गिर रहा है तो क्यों गिर रहा है? So try asking yourself why. I think you have Chat GPT, you have Gemini, you have Perplexity. You can, find, answers to all your questions here. I think there is a tons of information that is available outside. But whenever you are going for an initial screening, always look at the revenue. देखो कि वो sales कर रहा है कि नहीं. देखो कि flat तो नहीं है sales, because अगर flat growth है तो फायदा नहीं. You want the sales to be growing year on year. You want to probably invest in a company that kind of grows year on year. अब मैं एक पर्टिकुलर नंबर नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि 5% ग्रोथ, 10% ग्रोथ, एटलीस्ट एक डबल डिजिट ग्रोथ हो रहा है कि नहीं वो देखना, कि मे बी इफ इट्स ग्रोइंग 12% और इफ इट्स ग्रोइंग 15%. बट ऐसा भी नहीं होना चाहिए कि हर साल 1% ग्रो हो रहा है. आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट. एक डिसेंट ग्रोथ होना चाहिए, भले अगर इंडस्ट्री इज ग्रोइंग एट 15-17%, if the stock is also growing at probably in the same range. एक increasing revenues चाहिए आपको year on year. So that's the first thing that you need to look at. The second thing that you need to look at is your net profit. Simple. This is the crux of investing here. अगर लॉस मेकिंग कंपनी है तो इसको टोटली अवॉइड करना. Why do you want to put your money in a loss making company? अगर why do we do business? The business का main purpose क्या है? To make profit. So why not invest in a company that is making profits? लॉस है तो अवॉइड करना. हाँ, भले ही अगर लॉस है बट वो लॉस कम हो रहा है एंड देन देयर इज अ टर्न अराउंड. मतलब मान लो लॉस 100 करोड़ था, 50 करोड़, 20 करोड़, फिर सडनली देयर इज अ प्रॉफिट ऑफ 50 करोड़. ट्राई आस्किंग योरसेल्फ ऐसा क्या कर रहा है कंपनी की वी आर सीइंग अ टर्न अराउंड हियर. सो ऑलवेज लुक. सो दिस इज योर टॉप लाइन, दिस इज योर बॉटम लाइन. बिकॉज प्रॉफिट नीचे होता है उसको बॉटम बोलते हैं, रेवेन्यू टॉप पे होता है तो उसको हम लोग टॉप लाइन बोलते हैं. सो लुक एट टॉप लाइन ग्रोथ एंड सेम आपको नेट प्रॉफिट का भी ट्रेंड देखना पड़ेगा पिछले 5 साल का. इज द कंपनी रेगुलरली मेकिंग प्रॉफिट्स ईयर ऑन ईयर, या अगर लॉस कर रहा है तो यू शुड बी लुकिंग एट अ टर्न अराउंड स्टोरी, कि हर साल बड़ा बड़ा लॉस वाला कंपनी नहीं चाहिए, कि लॉस कम हो रहा है कि नहीं, और लॉस कम हो रहा है एट द सेम टाइम व्हाट इज द कंपनी डूइंग टू टर्न दैट लॉस मेकिंग कंपनी इनटू अ प्रॉफिट मेकिंग कंपनी. एंड इसमें कोई एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी आइटम्स नहीं चाहिए कि उनका कोई डिवीजन बेच दिया उसमें प्रॉफिट हुआ तो इसके लिए वो लोग प्रॉफिट दिखा रहे हैं. उनका कोर बिजनेस से प्रॉफिट आ रहा है कि नहीं, दैट इज एक्सट्रीमली इंपॉर्टेंट. सो ऑलवेज लुक एट द नेट प्रॉफिट फिगर्स. जब मैं एज एन इन्वेस्टर इफ आई लुक एट सम कंपनी, अगर इफ आई सी दैट कंपनी इज मेकिंग लॉस, मैं वो कंपनी को उधर ही हटा देता हूँ. और इफ द कंपनी अगर लॉस कम हो रहा है, टर्न अराउंड स्टोरी है, देन आई ट्राई टू डिग डीपर एज टू व्हाट द कंपनी इज डूइंग टू टर्न अराउंड दैट कंपनी. और so look at the revenue growth, look at the net profit growth, and the last thing, the most important thing a lot of people miss out, या जो बहुत लोग देखते नहीं है, this is your, just a second, where is my cursor? हाँ, this is your cash flows. कंपनी के पास कितना कैश पड़ा है. आप अकाउंटिंग में प्रॉफिट तो दिखा सकते हो, बट इज दैट प्रॉफिट ट्रांसलेटिंग इनटू कैश? आपने 100 का माल, मान लो आपने यू डिड अ सेल्स ऑफ 100, द कॉस्ट इन्वॉल्वड इज 50, यू कैन शो योर नेट प्रॉफिट इज 50. बट अगर आपने माल क्रेडिट पे बेचा है और वो मान लो 100 रुपया रियलाइज आने वाला है आपको 3-6 महीने के बाद, आपका बुक में तो आपका प्रॉफिट दिखता है 50 रुपीज, क्या आपके पास सच में कैश है कि नहीं? So the main thing, even in cash flows, the main important thing that you need to look at is your operating cash flows. क्या ऑपरेटिंग कैश फ्लोज जो है कंपनी का वो पॉजिटिव है कि नहीं, और इसका क्या ट्रेंड है? अगर ऑपरेटिंग कैश फ्लोज नेगेटिव है तो चांसेस आर दैट कंपनी माइट बी स्ट्रगलिंग. बट इफ द ऑपरेटिंग कैश फ्लोज आर पॉजिटिव एंड इट इज काइंड ऑफ स्टेडी और इट इज काइंड ऑफ इंक्रीजिंग, then chances are that हो सकता है वो कंपनी शायद अच्छा कर सकती है. So the 3 key things that you look for in any company would be your revenue growth growing, your net profit growth growing, and your cash flows. And most importantly, there is operating cash flows, financial cash flows, investing cash flows, but the cash flows that really matter to us is your operating cash flows. बिजनेस के ऑपरेशन से जो कैश फ्लोज होता है, सो वो या तो स्टेडी होना चाहिए या पॉजिटिव होना चाहिए. यू डोंट वांट अ नेगेटिव ट्रेंड इन द ऑपरेटिंग कैश फ्लोज योर. सो दीज आर प्रोबब्ली द 3 की एलिमेंट्स दैट यू कैन लुक फॉर योर इनिशियल स्क्रीनिंग ऑफ स्टॉक्स. ठीक है. सो आई होप टुडेज सेशन वाज इंफॉर्मेटिव. आई होप you did find some value in this session. Now let us start off with our question and answer session. If you have any queries, any doubts, do let me know in the chat box and I'll be happy to answer them. Manwarji, you can hold Bank of India. Bank of India, like I said, you can kind of trail it to around 155. Railtel avoid karna. Railtel don't. Let's wait for the budget because clearly the stock is in a downtrend. I think avoid adding Railtel here. Bank of India you can hold with 155. Mantosh ji is asking for LIC. LIC avoid. Clearly the stock is in a downtrend. It's at 804. It trades below all the key moving averages here. So avoid life insurance corporation as well. Axis Bank is good. I think Axis Bank is almost on the verge of a breakout. But I feel Axis Bank needs to take out 1320, 1330. I think that's a key level for Axis Bank here. Vikram Solar avoid. Sorry, Vikram Engineering. Vikram Engineering. हाँ. Uh, नहीं आशु जी अवॉइड करना विक्रम इंजीनियरिंग क्लियरली स्टॉक डाउन ट्रेंड में है. I think इसका 83 एक strong support. I think below that it can fall even further. Kalyan Jewelers, I think it was kind of in a avoid Kalyan Jewelers also. Akhil ji, clearly downtrend में wait for some reversal signs. Clearly avoid Kalyan Jewelers. M&M हाँ होल्ड कर सकते हो. आई थिंक थोड़ा सा प्रेशर होगा. आई थिंक इट्स न्यूज रिलेटेड. आई थिंक इट नीड्स टू होल्ड अबव इट्स 200 EMA. दैट इज अराउंड 3390. मे बी अगर थोड़ा नीचे जाता है तो वी कैन सी सम फॉल इन महिंद्रा एंड महिंद्रा, बट आई डोंट सी एक बड़ा इम्पैक्ट हो सकता है बिकॉज फंडामेंटली इट्स अ वेरी गुड कंपनी. Sir, most of the hospitals, but not doing well. See, the overall healthcare space is not doing well. In fact, if you look at KIMS, probably that could be due to the fact that overall market is not doing well. But I think more than cash flows in that, I think we'll have to see whether there is top line and bottom line growth in these companies here. Even if you look at KIMS, down है. If you look at Apollo Hospitals, I think इसके साथ और भी 2-3 stocks थे. Max Healthcare, all your Loris Labs, all these kind of companies are not doing well now. I think that would probably due to the fact that the overall market sentiment is weak. नहीं पारुल जी defense भी avoid करना. Bharat Dynamics again, it's kind of consolidating, so there is no see defense stocks is holding steady but clear momentum नहीं है defense stocks में फिलहाल के लिए. So your railway stocks, defense stocks, tourism stocks, ये जो theme based sectors है उसमें clearly momentum नहीं है अभी फिलहाल के लिए. Suzlon avoid करना आशु जी. अंशु जी सॉरी. Suzlon है डाउनट्रेंड में. क्लियरली अवॉइड Suzlon योर. एलजी भी अवॉइड ही करना अभी फिलहाल के लिए. सी देर इज दोस्त देर सब पुल बैक है यहाँ पे. आई थिंक जब तक ये 40-30 को क्लियरली ब्रेकआउट नहीं देता है, अभी 40-30 के ऊपर जब तक नहीं जाता है तब तक इट्स बेटर टू अवॉइड योर एलजी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स बिकॉज ये डाउन ट्रेंड के बाद एक छोटा सा पुल बैक आया है, बट इसको बोल नहीं सकते कि ये ट्रेंड रिवर्सल है कि नहीं. सो टू डिफिकल्ट टू प्रेडिक्ट इसका क्या फ्यूचर रह सकता है. Textile stocks, again, news driven. KPR Mill. See, textiles where again, Bali, there is some pullback, I think, but I would say too early to enter into. Because भले आज इंडिया EU का ट्रेड डील है, but I think tomorrow if something comes up between India and US, I think again we could be under some pressure. But for now, I feel 805, 810, that is likely to act as a strong support. I still don't see any strong chances of trend reversal here. So even कौन सा है गोकुल दास. हाँ गोपाल है ना. हाँ राइट. सो गोपाल नहीं गोपाल दास भी देखो ट्रेंड क्लियरली नीचे. आई थिंक बेटर टू अवॉइड गोपाल दास ऑल्सो. मनोहर जी. सुष्मिता जी MOL मेक मनी अवॉइड. आई थिंक जब तक ये 62 के नीचे रहेगा तब तक आई फील द ओवरऑल स्ट्रक्चर इज लाइकली टू बी बेरिश. सो अवॉइड मेक मनी. SCI नहीं, SCI भी अवॉइड करना, ये भी बेरिश ही है. जब तक ये 215 के नीचे तब तक आई फील ओवरऑल स्ट्रक्चर इज लाइकली टू रिमेन बेरिश. करारो ओके करारो भी आई थिंक इट्स देखो निफ्टी जैसा चार्ट स्ट्रक्चर है इसका. इट्स hovering अराउंड इट्स 200 EMA बट आई फील जब तक ये 485 490 के नीचे है तब तक इस पे प्रेशर रह सकता है. सर EU ट्रेड डील माइट टेक मोर टाइम सिंस ऑल 24 कंट्रीज हैव टू अप्रूव. Yeah, I think we are I think used to trade deals are getting delayed now. So I think it's nothing new for us. I think we've been waiting for India US trade deal. One state is not able to approve for such a long time. So here we are talking about 24 countries. So I think one country is not able to do that. So here, when there are 24 countries involved, I think that will kind of take some time here. But I think EU deal should happen much faster than the US deal now. If we look at Sona, BLW, I feel it's good. I think it's given a downward sloping trend line breakout. I think it's very important that we get a follow through move, Manoj ji. अगर ये 485 490 के ऊपर sustain करता है and if it holds 470 475, then chances are that it can kind of move higher. If you look at Motherson avoid करना because फिलहाल के लिए momentum नहीं है. I think important support is around 105. I think if it goes below 105, chances are that it can kind of fall from the current levels. BL also you can avoid for now. I think BL is kind of consolidating in a range. But I think if we get a breakout above 423 425, then chances are that thoda recovery aa sakta hai. But I think wait for defense stocks. Maybe there'll be some announcement in the budget. Hopefully, probably you can expect some action in the defense space then. Okay, so I guess that's all from today's session. I hope it was informative and I hope you all are actually finding these sessions valuable. If yes, all that I ask is do share the links of these mid-market sessions with your friends, families, and relatives, and do ask them to subscribe to our channel if they have not. And in case even if you haven't done, do subscribe and do let people know about it. Only if you find the sessions valuable. There is no compulsion or force at my end here, guys. Okay, so I guess that's all. So Thursday we'll have one webinar. We'll be doing a webinar on stochastic indicators. So that's happening on Thursday from 4 to 5. And tomorrow we'll meet. So tomorrow we'll have a rollover session. We'll have the rollover data coming in today. So tomorrow extensively, exclusively, we'll be discussing about rollovers. Okay, until then, bye guys. Take care, stay safe. And let's see what Nifty does on the monthly expiry day today. Until then, bye guys, take care, and I'll see you tomorrow at 12:30 for the mid-market session. Take care guys and stay safe.